Hello, I thought I would try to finish up our slingshot with the touch controls. So, right off the bat, I thought I would probably adjust this because it's annoying me. Um, just this text here. I want to shrink it a bit because I don't like how it's touching the borders. Best fit. Actually, because see how it's blurry there? I'm going to actually cut it down. I mean, you could use Text Mesh Pro and it fixes a lot of that, but I can just do that and it's just as good. Anywho, so there's only a couple things left we need to do. We need to set up touch control and fire the bullet with touch control and the camera. So if you haven't got in project settings, go into your editor. You can select device. So I've selected my iPad, and then I've got my iPad plugged in, and then on my iPad I have Unity Remote 5. So now I can run touch controls on my iPad in a streaming method. So anywho, so the first thing we need to do is set up our touch controls. So I'm just going to create a quick plane, and I'm going to mark it as a trigger, convex trigger. I'm going to put its position at 0.5, rotate it 90, and set the scale up. Apparently not 90 there. Oh. We want 90. I think negative 90 actually. And let's take that up. Let's go bigger, bigger. Get rid of the mesh renderer. And just gonna slide it over here. Because if we look at it through this way, so I can actually just move it back a little bit, just to give us a bit of a backstop for when we're ray casting our touches. So that's we'll just call that background, and it can go sit in the ground. And that guy here, he can go sit in the ground. Clean that up a bit. This one can go sit in the ground and clean that up a bit too. Okay, so we need, what is it? Oh yeah, this is our trigger. So we're going to do something with this. Let's deactivate him. Okay, so here we have our little level, and we need a camera system. So let's create camera system, and let's put that at, I don't know, say negative 50 there, 0 and 0. Stick the camera inside of it. I think with this guy, we're just going to do a quick get touch info, which will give us a not normalized touch position, and we were going to want to screen, no, yeah, we'll screen pick. So we're going to screen pick because we have the background now. So the screen vector is a touch position. Ray, just going to move that up. Not normalized. And the store point is world position. And I only want this to happen on our background. So our background, we're going to give it a layer. I'm going to add a layer and just call it background. Okay, so mask, and we're going to use background every frame. So we get touch, we screen pick, and all we're going to do is, so we got a position, we need to set position. Do we have a lerp? So we need to, from world, oh wait, no, we need to get our position first. Get our position, that can actually sit at the top, and that's our current. Alright, now we can lerp from our current to world position, and we give it a time, and to set owner to set world. I should probably do this one up on delayed update. So now that's not going to be quite perfect yet, right? Because now, see, I touch it and it goes freaking ballistic. So, mind you, on the lerp, not supposed to go beyond 1. That probably had something to do with it. So, let's bring that down even farther. Where's our lerp? 0.01. So, what is our camera doing? Why is it going up there? Okay, so let's go 0.01% of the distance. Every frame, let's take it off of late update for now. So if I touch near the base, okay, so that's starting to work a little better. I think we need to move, and we need to stop that sliding, obviously. Okay, so our background, I'm going to put that at 0.5. We want it pretty much just right in the middle. So yeah, 0.5 on the Z. Okay. So and this guy, we are, well, let's just see if that's a little better before we adjust this. So I touch. I'm getting the touch info. Get our position in the world. Could almost move the camera just based on mouse delta. Or on touch delta instead. Might almost be a better choice, right? Because if we get touch, see with these deltas, I'll show you what I mean. So those are, so the deltas, again, if I disable those, and we disable that, and we just put in a translate, use owner, let's go X and Y per second to every frame. Now these would need a multiplier, but see, I can swipe, right, and it kind of moves just as I want. So that might be a better thing. So float multiplier. Let's take the x and times it by 10. Put it up there. Copy and paste before, and do the same thing with the y. Okay, let's close that. So now it's, well, 10 might be a little high, but I mean, yeah, I got pretty good control over it now, except for if I go off of our background. So we don't almost have to limit its position. And okay, let's get rid of the screen picks, the lerping, and the set position for now. Let's take this down to say 5. And let's add an FSM. Clamp. Do we have a clamp position? Clamp position. Perfect. So we want this to be every frame in the world, and we want our camera. Oh, I need to move that. So say that's as far this way as we want to go. Right? We are at a negative 85. And then we have a far this way as we want to go. That's probably far enough. We're at a 124. Okay, and we'll take this thing and go down. We don't need to go that far down. Even there. And we're at negative 35. And now we take this camera and go upwards. And that's probably about as high as we want to go, and that's plus 30, well, plus 40. And, well, I mean, we could clamp its position so he's not moving in and out. I'll say negative. Oh, wait, so we are, that's going to positives. So we'll say minimum negative 35. Maximum negative 30. Okay, so now oh yeah, so if we try to push it too far, it decides to freak out on us. I don't know if I like that at all. It's kind of annoying. So I'm going to get rid of that for now. And we always could just put in logic, if we go X distance from center, we disable the movement controls and just lerp back to the center or something like that. Might be smoother and nicer looking. But I'm not that worried about that right now. So the background, we're going to go 1. Ram these things up. Get a bigger background to help prevent that for now. So the other thing we need is shooting. So we could probably stick this right here. We could, now you can have it so we have to click on this guy and then we pull back, right? So we could, for example, we could give this guy a box collider. Might be an easy way to do it. And make him, you know, fairly big. Something like that. And he can be on, I'm going to put him on his own layer, just to be on the safe side. We got layers to use, why not use them? We just want him. We don't want the children. Just him. So now we add an FSM, and we need a touch object event. Sure, 150. No, I don't know if we want a touch object event. We have no. Well, let's check. I'm just going to check this real quick. I don't know if that's going to work for us. If I hit play, whoa. So what happens when we go way out. I need to clamp some of those vectors. So let's see, we get position of the owner. Translate. So okay, let's fix this up before this causes us insanity. So let's move this up here. And I'm going to do a touch event, I think. So if we have began, and again, if we have ended, and then I'm just going to take this stuff and move them over here. Right, because now we should have a simple we move, we let go, we move, we let go, right? Okay, so we want, if we touch and that is here, we need to connect the position to our slingshot. So I mean, again, we could just go like this. We could just touch event. So we have began. Get rid of this stupid event. We're going to, we have touched. Now we come over here and we get touch info. So we're going to store position as start position, not normalized, and this one's not going to be every frame. And we want to screen pick, move down. So the screen vector is the start position, not normalized, 200, and this is going to have a layer mask, of course, of our slingshot, and inverted, so it only hits our slingshot, and our slingshot. That's not what I meant to do. Let's change that to a game object and store. Well, actually, you know what? That's actually probably a better idea anyways. And then we could bool test our slingshot, and if it's true, we'll do something, and if it's false, we'll do something else. The else is we're just going to go back and wait for a new touch. If it's true, though, we want to connect our slingshot to him, right? So now, I mean, if I touch, apparently, he says we did pick something. All right, let's uninvert that. I think I screwed that up. Me and my layer masks, I tell you. Lower 100. All right, so we hit. Yeah, okay, we go back, right? So I can click on, say, the base. Click on the base, somewhere on the base, not happening. And I scroll over here and I touch the slingshot. Oh, look at that. All right. So if we touch the slingshot, what do we want to happen? Well, I'll tell you. We want ba-doop, 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 and ba-doop. We have a polar. And now we want this guy again. Only we'll change this to current position, I guess. That's fine. Every frame. And we will screen pick a position. And this will use a layer mask as well, but this is going to be on the background every frame. And we're going to store the point, or the screen pick. What am I doing here? Okay, so we're getting that position. We're using that position here. We're going to store the point as the set position there. Now we set position move to the bottom of the polar to set position world space every frame. Right now we should be able to pull our polar. Right, so if I go down here, I tap. Oh, I did something wrong there. So we're getting I'm gonna try that again. So I'm down here and I'm looking at it and I push on our slingshot. Something's wonky there. I haven't let go yet, and I'm getting all sorts of weird numbers, and our polar isn't moving anywhere. Okay, well, this one I need my inverted. And that part's working now. Huh, if I touch the screen numerous times. Might have to fix that, but okay. Alright, so I just needed to inverted that one. Okay, well that's fine. Where is that? There we go, invert. And then all we need is another touch event. Place them down here, and this guy's going to be on ended. And if we have ended, let's get rid of that. Let's create a fire event. So the fire event is all it's going to do is the same thing our little fake trigger did that we had earlier. Is we want to, on our shot, I believe it was shooting. We should double check that. Shooting and shot, yes. So he does shot, and then he comes back and goes over here. Okay, let's hit play. So I can select, say, a normal. I'm going to scroll over here. We should reset. We got to adjust that. The camera distance. I mean, it's far. It makes everything kind of pixelated, and this thing is hard to click on. So let's go and take this slingshot. I'm just going to make him a little bigger. And I'm going to take this camera system. So we get this touch info, we get its position, we multiply it, we translate on the XY. So let's go -50 maybe, 35. Is that good? Clear those out. See how that looks for camera. Of course, after we fire, we should have a way to follow. And you know what I think I would do? Because we could move this guy, but I almost think it might be better to have another camera. We'll set this guy at also -30. We want him to match. We can adjust his let's set this camera system to 0.5, move this guy out then. Let's set this guy to the same. And let's put his depth currently at, because if you look at this camera, his depth is -1. I'm going to put him to 0 and this guy to -1. So we don't actually see this guy at all. Get rid of his audio listener. And over here, when we shoot, we're going to want some sort of camera follow. So here we're going to send an event for it to store. So we need to send an event follow. Right, so now he can, whoops. This guy on shot can now follow. Just send an event to yourself, camera follow, and follow. That's all he's got to do. So this guy can do the rest. This guy can get FSM game object from the shot, the created bullet, following target, and we can now get position, move to the bottom of the following target, and that's target position. And do that every frame, and we can get position again of ourselves. Self position every frame, and we can, let's do the lerp again. Let's lerp from self to target at 0.25 and store as self. I wonder if that will work for us. Might work. Might have to change that to a different variable. And then set position. Okay, so first of all, this isn't of the owner, this is of our camera. Set position of the camera. Every frame. So what is the camera? The camera is going to be this guy. Now, the other thing this thing needs is, we need to get component. Well, here, we'll do it the easy way for this one, I guess. Variable, I'm going to take the camera, take this camera component, drag it into the variables. There, well, we have that. Now, we can get component on that, but technically we already have it. So now I'm just going to set property. Move to the top of camera 1, the depth to 1, and I'm going to get velocity of the following target every frame, vector. No, we don't want to get velocity because that one's weird on this one because I can't get the magnitude from it for how it's set up. So we want to get speed of the following target and float compare. If speed is less than, we'll say 3, then we're going to stop. And stop is, you could also add in a touch thing too, so maybe if you touch the screen it'll also stop. But when we stop, we want to set this property like that down to -1. Okay, so we come down here and we touch this guy and we pull him back and we go blue, and our thing never fired. So let's see what happened. Sling shot, camera follow. The clone, his speed is 0. No, it's not. We double Willis. Well, okay, well, it might be now. Info. Speed. No, speed's 82. Don't give me that crap. So let's see. Alright, let's. So he's getting speed of the fall. Oh, well, yeah. That was stupid of me. We don't even have the target. We're trying to get its speed yet. Also why it's important that everything goes in the proper order. So we're going to scroll down. Click on this guy. Pull and shoot. That didn't work. Pull and shoot. So now, what is his problem? This guy is still 1, and if we bring him up, he is, God knows, somewhere else. He's probably following that ball somewhere. Right, like if we come out of maximum play, he's probably, oh no, he's just sitting there. So let's see. Slingshot. Camera follow. Depth says -1. Alright, let's alter this guy. Store his new position. Oh, we didn't even set this thing in. Oh man, I tell you. This happens when you're trying to go fast on stuff. So, go over to a little slingshot, pull them. Nope, still. He's obviously hitting it. So, we want, where's our follow? Bullet. We're still not getting that speed properly. Alright, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going to add a new one and set this one to follow, get rid of this one. And we're going to get this guy up here. So we can't do anything until we have him. And then we're just going to add a next frame event. He is our star player. We need him. So he's still not, is he not getting that? He's getting that. He's got his speed. He sets the camera depth. Is our camera actually depth changing? His depth is changing. Okay. So we get his position, world. We get position of the following target, world. Position of the camera, world, every frame. Okay, well, let's take this lerp up. Let's go 0.8. And just to be on the safe side, is this camera? This camera's at 0, right? Yeah, okay. Oh, wrong way. Alright. Okay, so that's working. I mean, it didn't look like it was working, but it's working. So now that that's working, what we need is, because we're getting his position, we're setting the position, right? So what we need to do is vector 3 set x y z, and we need to move this up here before all that stuff, and the following target after that. So the following target is a target position, but the Z, we don't want to actually go to this Z, right? We want to go to our -70 on the Z. Right? So that we're not slammed up into the ball all crazy style. getting there. Can use some smoothing or some fading or something. Could also use some timing on the when it comes back. Hey, you silly thing. Why aren't you triggering now? There you go. Velocity too high for you? Some sort of issue with that. Alright, well, what are we doing for time? I don't want this thing to go on forever. I'm trying to make these shorter, but I mean, it's hard. There's so much there, right? So, I don't know. I mean, the camera system. I mean, on shot, the other thing we're going to want to do is, say, interpolate, and we want to go from, say, negative 70 to negative 85 over, I don't know, half a second. Store as new Z. I can move this guy up to there, above this guy, and set this to the new Z. That way I have a little bit more animation happening. And I'm kind of curious on why. So I think we should add a state here and just do a wait for a second. And then come down here. Alright, so let's just see how if the animated worked a little better. Now we scroll down here and we click on this guy and we go boo. Half a second's a little too quick though, we should up that. Oh, that's weird. We almost need to reset its position when that happens. So, on something like this, okay, so his position now, let's take this variable so that's our main camera. So over here now we can get position. We need one of those. But we want of the main camera. Not every frame. We don't need that every frame. No, actually, you know what? We almost could use that every frame. And then we need to set position. We don't need to do anything fancy with this one. Of the camera to the main camera position every frame. Almost got to reverse our touch controls though, it feels backwards. But no, it's starting to be pretty good. Starting to actually feel like a little bit of a game happening. Come on, you little bastard. Oh, we got him. I seen him in this camera. I wasn't even watching this camera, I was watching my iPad. So, now we should have, eventually here. Oh, unless that guy, we almost need something that says when this guy falls below said line, he's dead. But that's easy to do. So, other than a whole bunch of sound effects and audio effects, what else do we have? So the camera's starting to work. It needs some tweaking. I don't really need to go fine detail polish. I guess it needs tutorials though. But this whole thing here could actually slow down a lot, right? And that just gives us that. I'll show you real quick. Right, that gives us that whole. Holy shit! What happened there? Oh, we also need to reset his Z too. I'm not too sure why he doesn't always want to follow. We have to look into that. So on a camera, follow this guy. Camera system. So this guy, let's go down here to our camera. We're in that, right? Because we're getting position of the camera. We follow. Then we go after that. No, I mean that should be fine. But yeah, I am kind of curious on why this guy. Maybe we should send this right at the start. Oh, we can't do that because he needs to grab this guy. So this guy needs to happen before the event. I mean, the rest of it technically doesn't matter. Oh, of course it matters. It's not for what we're talking about, though. But yeah, I mean, see right there, I'm not too sure why that didn't fire. Right, because I mean, even if he's over here, he should be coming into this. He needs to reset because this guy's still going to send that event. Still happening. Right, so unless it's this float compare might be screwing that up. Well, anyways, I think we've made the video long enough. I really don't need to go and add another 20 minutes on it just to fix up a couple minor things. But I mean, ultimately, I mean, it's working with touch controls. It's somewhat, I mean, like I said, we should add some sort of layer or trigger or something that catches these guys, just to make sure if they fall, they're dead. And then once the game manager hits that, oh, the level win, we move on to the next level. Now add score to our save file or something. But anyways, I thought that was pretty good, so we'll catch you guys in another one.